Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been a minute since we've uploaded, but got a project going on today. So once again, we've got the gasser here. The fuel pump went out, so kind of left the boys stranded at school. Kind of my fault. When we got this truck, the rear fuel pump was already out and the front one was already acting up. So today we're going to go ahead and change both those out. Of course, it always happens right after you filled the tank. So instead of dropping the tank, being we're doing both of them, we're going to pull the bed. So what we're going to do under here is we're going to go ahead and disconnect this negative battery terminal. That way it kills the power. And then we're also going to come over here to this little Schrader valve right here on the fuel line. We're actually going to decompress that to just relieve any fuel pressure that is in the line still. So we'll get some rags around that, use a little screwdriver. So we've got this little Schrader valve. We're just going to push on this. Now I've already relieved it. I'm just showing you guys what it is. So down in there, that relieves the fuel pressure of the line if there is any. Right there. So being we have to do both fuel pumps, we are going to pull the bed. So we've got 6 bolts to pull here. And regardless if you're going to drop the tank or pull the bed, you do need to disconnect the fill neck on whichever tank you are doing, because you'll need to drop that down in. James on here, getting those bolts loosened up and removed. So underneath the bed, because we're going to remove it, going to need to, I don't know if you can see that, but going to have to unplug the wiring harness for the tail lights so that when you pull the bed, it doesn't tear that all up. And there you have it. The bed's off. Did take a little bit much, but now we have full access front fuel pump and rear fuel pump. So now we'll get this sprayed off, get the dust sprayed off of it, and then we will start taking it apart. So a few things you're going to need here is a hammer, some sort of a little punch or screwdriver, whatever works. And these guys right here, fairly inexpensive at the parts store, but that's gonna help get these clamps off. So first thing we'll do is pop these little clips off. And then you're gonna find the one of those that fit, and it's going to go over the line and slide in there, and it's actually going to push in on the locking of that clamp. With a little bit of work, you will get them. So what this does, in case you don't know, this little tool goes in and there's some little clamps in there. So this will actually push those little clamps down that are locked onto this little bevel here and then pull out. And there we go, both of them are off. And you'll notice they are different sizes by slightly, so just want to keep an idea of where they go back. Right. Next we're going to go ahead and unclip the wire harness from it. Alright, now we got that clean back off. Just simply slide this ring out. And then for the fuel pump, I have to break the seal because, like I said, this is an older truck. Wow, that is sealed up very good. And because of the age of this truck, that seal is pretty much hardened in there, so Had to do a little bit of prying on it. And once you get that seal broke out, then we're just going to simply pull it out and be careful not to bend the arm of the float. So you just kind of fish it out.
Gotta find it first. Oh, how does that work? Give it a twist.
Like I said, just be mindful of the float. You don't want that to...
It's already snapped off.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
no good.
Alright, had to do a little bit of fishing, but we got the float out of the tank. And it does have about a quarter tank in it, which is pretty much turpentine.
Trying to give you that side.
So part of the float's still in there. James got to fish it out.
Come here.
So that's what you got to be looking for. Make sure you don't leave nothing in the tank. Alright, so we got the whole assembly for the back, because the other one, the float and the mechanism, all that was broken off, so we went ahead and just did the whole assembly. When you're putting that in, just mindful of not knocking off the filter or messing up your float. Takes just a little bit of finagling it in.
One side in, the rest isn't. Might have spun it the wrong way. Nope. Sweet.
Alright, now it came with a new O-ring. Get that slid on there. Set in place.
Make sure it falls in the groove.
And a new ring. Alright, something to watch out for. The ring that they supplied is actually smaller than the hole in the teeth. So we had to utilize the old ring so that it holds it in there nice and snug, because you don't want this to vibrate out over time. And with this being smaller, it was actually coming off of here. Alright, so now all we need to do is just plug everything back in.
Being mindful of which one was smaller. Secure. Secure. And we're good.
And on your hoses, you've got your retaining clips here. Secure, and that one is all set. Now we'll move to the front. Alright, so for the front one, we did get just the pump. So what we got to do is we need to remove these 3 bolts. And then that just comes right off there. And that will just pop out, slide it off gently, because you are going to reuse the top. Now we're going to cut the lines here because you're going to have to rewire these in. So let's do it with as much slack as possible. And now we can remove the old fuel filter or fuel pump. Alright, so on the sending unit, we've clipped these back and we're going to attach these. Now be mindful of, you want these to be up out of the way, but we'll attach those after we attach the pump. All right, now for the new pump. Simply just line those back up.
Might be a little snug. Okay, a lot snug. There.
Once you got all the fuel lines into the fuel pump, then it's put the float back on. All right, so now we've got all 3 bolts back in. Now we're going to turn this around just a little bit, and we're going to connect these with the supplied connectors. But we do need to wrap this around the fuel lines to kind of make the slack a little bit out of the way. Alright, now that we got the lines reconnected, and lastly is the filter. So there you are. And we've got the new O-ring, so to the truck we go. Putting the O-ring in place first this time. And the old one was stuck to the gas tank, so make sure you do get the old one removed. Alright, now we got the little locker. It's in the locking grooves. Can reconnect the wiring, the hoses, and then the front tank will be done. Now for your locking clips.
Ta-da!
There we go. Alright, now we're going to hook the battery terminal back up so that we can test the pumps, make sure they're both working. Okay, now what we want to do is cycle the key. Okay, that one did well. Go to the other tank. And we got both fuel pumps working now. All right, bed's back on. He's down there putting the bolts back in. Got to get the fuel necks put back in. And then she'll be done. Well, there you have it. All set. Both fuel pumps are changed. James did a great job as always. Got the bed back on. She runs just fine. If you like this video, make sure to give it that thumbs up. Feel free to drop a comment down below if you want. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. And thanks again for all the support, and thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one. And there goes James, headed to work. But now he can because the truck runs again.